All right, how's it going, Algebra 1 students? I hope you are ready for this lesson because you're gonna learn today. Lesson 2, finding slope of a line given its graph. All right, hopping over to that page. Slope. What is slope? Well, slope is basically the same thing as rate of change, but it's focused more on the graph of the line, but the same idea. So slope is going to be on our graph, it's going to be the vertical change. I'm going to use my delta in there for change again, over our horizontal change. Okay, so vertical, that's dealing with our y's. And remember before we had change in y over change in x. So y is vertical, x is horizontal, change in y over change in x. What that is going to really be in simpler terms is just the rise of the function over its run. Many of you might have heard this before, rise over run. That's our slope. As you can kind of see with our little graphic here, we've got a line. Okay, we're going along this line here. And here's our 2 points like we talked about last time, x1, y1, x2, y2. Well, your rise is going to be the change in the y values, okay? y2 minus y1, that's what we had last time. And then your run, the horizontal change, is a change in the x values. That's x2 minus x1. You're finding the difference between those. Difference is the change. So, rise over run. Change in y's over change in x's. Same idea. All right, hopping on down to our types of slope. We want to review this with you. We've got positive slope. What's positive slope? Well, that moves up from left to right. Big idea here, left to right. Thinking about that, like just like you're reading a book. As you move left to right, what's your function doing? This time it's going up. That's going to be a positive slope. So moves up from left to right. What about the negative slopes? Negative slopes are going to move down from left to right. Okay, it's decreasing as you go along. This little penguin sliding on down. Zero slope. We talked about zero and undefined. Zero slope is a horizontal line. So we got our penguin down here. There's a zero slope. He's not really moving along. It's just flat. Undefined, however, is a vertical line. So we've got our penguin here. Undefined doesn't really make sense. Well, you wouldn't go down a mountain that's just straight down. Okay, so moving along, we're going to see how to use this when we have a graph. All right, finding the slope of this line. Your first thing is going to be to locate 2 points on the line. Big key thing here, just pick easy points, okay? Don't try to pick anything that's like in the middle where you have to guess the decimal, okay? Don't bother with that. Find stuff that is on like the corners of the boxes, okay? Or like the corners of the grid in the coordinate plane, okay? Easy numbers. So let's look at this guy here. Looking on here, we want to find 2 easy points. Here's one. Okay, that crosses right there at 2. So what's that point? That's 0, 2. Okay, and then look for another one that crosses. Oh, here's one. And that is at 2, 8. Okay, so let's look at those. So now we need to find our rise over our run. Well, our rise is the vertical change. How far are we moving up? We're going from 2 to 8, so that's a positive 6. All right. Then our run, we're coming from 0 to 2, so that's a positive 2. So over here, we've got our rise, that was 6. And our run was 2. Now, our step 3, we just got to put that rise over run. So rise was 6, run was 2, 6 over 2, and then simplify it if you can. 6 over 2 is just 3. So that's your slope for that line, 3. So every time You move over 1, you're going up 3. Or every time you go up 3, you're moving over 1. That's the idea. Down here for example 2, find the slope of this one. So, zoom in a little bit here. Find the slope of this guy. Well, it's already got 2 points here labeled for you, so just use those. Don't worry about trying to find any other ones. So this guy here is at 0, 7. This guy here, that's at 5, 0. So let's look for our rise. Okay, well, we're coming down this time, 7 to 0. So going down from left to right, that's going to be negative. So our rise is negative 7. And then our run, well, 0 to 5 there, that's a positive 5. So our run is 5. Then we just got to put it rise over run, negative 7 over 5. That's our slope. Okay. Scooting on down, find the slope of this guy. Uh-oh. What does this one look like? Look back at that last page with the penguins. Which one does that match? That's a horizontal line. Okay? And when we have horizontal lines, we have a slope of what? Yep, 0. Okay? So already from looking at it, we know it's horizontal. We know the slope is 0. If you want to go through and pick 2 points, you can do that and do the rise over run. Okay, let's pick these 2. Our rise, well, we're not going up or down anything. So our rise is 0. Okay, and then our run, we're going over 1. So we have 0 and 1. 0 over 1 is just 0. Okay, so that's why a horizontal line has a slope of 0. Okay, that's it. That was a quick lesson, so hopefully you got it. If you didn't, make sure you are asking questions or going back through parts that you didn't understand. Remember, you can always use the formula from the last lesson as well. You can always do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 and use that the same as we did before. If you have any questions, make sure you're asking, and good luck on your assignment.